Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is the reaction video for the 4th episode of Season 3 of Babylon 5 called Passing Through Gethsemane. You can now see the full reaction for this YouTube video on my Patreon channel. Check out the link in the description below. Last time we saw G'Kar's replacement arrive at the station. He appeared to be much more accommodating to Londo than G'Kar had been. A probe entered Babylon 5 space from an unknown species. It sent out a series of complex questions. If they could be answered, they would supply information on cures for all known illnesses and other technological wonders. And if they couldn't, it was going to blow up. Garibaldi confronted the Doctor on his use of stims, but Dr. Franklin denied he had a problem. The new Narn ambassador demanded that G'Kar returned to the Narn homeworld, else the families of the Narn on the station would suffer for it. The Doctor showed signs of addiction as he took stims to control his tiredness and denied taking them to Garibaldi. The captain thought that the probe could be a trap. By sending the answers to the questions, it may show that they are an advanced species, and the probe may take them out. So they didn't send the answers, and the probe left. But the captain destroyed the probe as it moved away from the station. G'Kar's people on the station wouldn't let him leave because he was too valuable to the fight against the Centauri. And Via left to be the new ambassador to Minbar. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about it. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1. That's a rather nice shot, panning across the whole station.
You realize this is an extremely dangerous situation.
That's Brad Dourif. I never know how you pronounce his surname. I'll have information here.
Ambassador Kosh is about to come out of hyperspace. He wants you to meet him in Bay 13.
That happens often, does it? The requests to be met.
This is beautiful. I keep telling him he should sell them. Work of this quality could fetch quite a price, and the Order could certainly use the money.
Yeah. Sellers make a little bit of money, especially for the Order.
Do you really like it?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, then when I've finished it, it's yours.
I'd be honored, thank you.
Now notice the kind of the sharp bits at the front. Actually looks quite aggressive at the very front. The rest of it's all sleek, but yeah, the front part is quite brutal. So is he not on it?
You should be informed.
Informed of what?
Returning.
That was a lot of words for him. Oh, Lita.
I said I'd be back.
She wasn't in a cocoon or anything. She came straight out of the ship. Last time we saw that Doctor put on the ship, he was in a cocoon so that he couldn't see or hear anything on board the Vorlon ship. She has. I'm trying something out with this video. I've upscaled this particular episode. Not full HD, but it's getting that way. I've already noticed some of the graphics are, I don't know, they look too graphic-y now, and a lot of the people they've got that waxy look to their faces. I started to give it a try. Also means I can have the episode bigger on my screen because I've normally got a small window. It's very hard to see what's going on sometimes, especially on a dark scene with all the lights on. The detail looks good though on the station.
So, when I left here a month ago, I found a ship willing to carry me to the border of the Vorlon Empire. He wouldn't go any closer.
Smart man.
Yeah.
No ship entering Vorlon space has ever come back.
Finally, the pilot got nervous, wanted to come back.
Don't blame him.
Ambassador Kosh says you'll be working for him from now on.
I'll be based here, but I'll be gone much of the time.
Doing what?
You've been through a lot. Now, you seem fine, but I'd like Dr. Franklin to do a full workup, just to be sure.
Makes sense. As far as I'm aware, no human has gone to the Vorlon homeworld and returned that we know of. I know there was that Inquisitor, but just it's probably worth checking her just to make sure that she's okay, not carrying any diseases or anything that could be harmful to other populations. Yeah.
Now she's working for Kosh. Is anybody else as creeped out about this as I am? We can handle all your data transfer requirements for roughly half of what you're paying currently.
You can tell Brother Theo you've got a deal.
Okay, so they make money through lots of different ways. And they're significantly undercutting competitors, because I'm assuming they probably don't pay much rent. They'll probably sort of say to people, you know, we're a religious order, let us stay for free kind of thing. Yeah, they might get donations of food and things, so they can significantly undercut competition, which is a little bit unfair, really. But
That's not mine.
It fell from your bag. Then it appears you have a secret admirer.
is a Black Rose admiration? I would have thought it could be the opposite. Red Rose would be.
Found Lester James Monroe guilty of the 7 murders.
Who is he?
Monroe has been sentenced to the death of personality. The mind wipe will take place Monday at midnight, after which he will spend the rest of his life serving the community that he harmed.
We've seen that before, death of personality.
Well, it started up when everybody decided the death penalty was a bad idea. Instead, you mind wipe the guy.
It's the same thing to me.
You then build a new personality and send him someplace. He spends the rest of his life doing community service, helping society.
He doesn't. The new personality does.
Oh, I'm an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of guy, Ambassador.
So you support a system that would leave everyone blind and toothless.
Yeah. So, had all these arguments before. I can't remember which episode it was. The episode with that medical device that doctor was giving part of her life force to cure people. They had that criminal, and he was sentenced to death of personality. But say they wipe the personality of the person who did the crimes, create a new personality, and that person then lives their life doing good. But it's the same thing as a death sentence. The person who committed the crimes is gone. They're never to return. It's the new personality that spends the rest of their life for the crime, basically, doing the sentence for the crime. So, yeah, I understand that you're not killing someone, and you've now got someone who's doing good. But that's assuming they do keep doing good. What if they do some bad things as well? I don't know. It doesn't fit right with me.
But according to the scanners, you're in better health than when you left.
I think you're exaggerating just a little.
No.
Your enlarged appendix is now normal size, and a slight hiatal hernia has somehow fixed itself.
The Vorlons did it. Did the Vorlons do it, or was it just being on the Vorlon homeworld reversed everything? Death walks among you. I've seen better posters to put up on the wall.
Yeah, it's right there.
Huh.
Maybe it was a trick of the lights.
Well, we're trick of lights, but is he seeing things, or is someone covering up?
I'll get you into another quarters for tonight, and my people will go over this place tomorrow and see what they can find.
That's a fair response. I just realised, yeah, he's got quarters. I'm surprised. As for an order of monks, I would have thought they'd all be together somewhere in some sort of large room, which would be much cheaper. If they've all got individual rooms like that, that's going to be expensive. Yeah, quite surprised by that. Thought they'll be bunking up somewhere.
Lita Alexander.
Didn't have to grab her.
I suggest you remove your hand,
Yeah.
Ambassador, or you won't be doing either for much longer.
The Vorlons do not pick up hitchhikers.
They did this time.
Lita, I understand the Psi Corps is looking for you.
Oh.
So if someone were to turn me in, I'd find him. I'd plant a nightmare deep in his mind where no one else could find or remove it. And that person would spend every night for the rest of his life screaming.
Keep your threats to yourself.
Says you making a threat.
Nightmares. The way my life has been going lately, who'd notice?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't think he needs the help. He's got his own. Well, he should have his own.
Among my people, it is considered an honor to aid any true seeker in his quest.
We've seen that before as well. The Grail Hunter.
On the night before our Lord was crucified, he chose to stay, to sacrifice himself, and thus atone for the sins of others. And I don't know if I would have had the courage to have stayed.
Yeah, taking the religious side out of it. Yeah, it's staying in one place, knowing that something bad is going to happen, but you stay there anyway because, I don't know, maybe staying there could actually save someone else's life. Yeah, could you do that? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think of different scenarios and things to come up with. I can't think off the top of my head at the moment, but yeah, that's kind of the similarity.
Valen was the greatest of us. 1,000 years ago, he came from nowhere and formed the Great Council and brought peace to our people. They say he was a Minbari, not born of Minbari. According to the
Another time.
Brown 17, please.
So yeah, I think the monks said they were going to stay in the brown sector when they first arrived.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, not suspicious at all.
Hello?
That doesn't sound real. So that Centauri did something to him. Black rose in the mouth.
Edward, here you are.
It's crying.
I lost the bag, the one you gave me, I'm sorry. I'm having memories of things I never did or thought I never did.
As he had death by death of personality, he's committed crimes in the past, and now he's doing good, and so well, if they are memories, that implies that a mind wipe isn't complete. He still remembers things, so bits of the personality still in there. That would make sense. That's why they mentioned at the beginning, Garaldi saw that news report and he talked to Delenn about it to remind us about how it all works to set this up. That just makes perfect sense, and he's a monk doing good. It just fits perfectly. So it was like a serial killer, because a black rose at the scene of every crime. That would kind of fit. Don't quite get the rest of it though. When that Centauri definitely did something. He touched him.
Cross-reference and analyze. Death walks among you. A black rose. Charlie, a death.
Time required for comprehensive analysis, 4 hours.
A bit quicker than that, but yeah, if someone was killing people and leaving a black rose, black rose, that would be something you could search for like that.
One of my monks is having bad dreams.
Not really the captain's job.
When someone joins the order, we tend not to inquire too deeply into their past. Brother Edward has been the best of us.
But
I would hate for him to discover that at some earlier time in his life, he was something very different.
Does he know?
I pray that I am wrong.
No.
But I do not have the resources to find out. You do.
He's made some big leaps. considering what he knows so far?
If there is something in his past, we can work with him.
No, that doesn't quite make sense. If he knew about his past, maybe, but I don't know.
You okay?
Oh, he's checking out the walls where he thought there was writing in blood.
Then the words were right here, Mr. Garibaldi, in blood.
Were they, or were they in his mind?
The lab couldn't find any trace of blood on your wall.
Location, Earth Colony 3 in Orion's system.
Earth Colony 3. That's not an original name.
Charles Dexter, also known as the Black Rose Killer.
Oh, that's got to be hard. Seeing that, realising it's you. He's remembering stuff.
After they erased his memory, they transferred him to an interim facility back home. Apparently there was a fire and he was presumed killed. Obviously, he survived with a new set of memories and a personality programmed to serve society.
What better place to serve than in a religious order?
Well, as long as you believe in God.
Yeah?
Edward? Edward?
So is he going to revert? Be a murderer again?
Do you know what it's like to wake up one day and discover you're a monster?
That must be horrible.
What if I had died, Theo, never knowing what I had been? How can I confess my sins to God if I don't even know what they are?
I was about to say, it might be a mercy that he doesn't know, but from his perspective and what he believes, yes, that's tough. So he joined. There was a fire. All right. He murdered people. Sentenced to having his mind wiped. Personality wiped. Had new personality. Put into a certain location so that assumes going to monitor him. There was a fire. He was presumed dead, but he escaped and went off. And yeah, it's kind of built into him to help, to do good. So he went to the monastery. But it looks like he believes in God. He's there, he's praying, and obviously I would assume to join the monastery you would have to. They wouldn't let you in if you didn't. So did he believe in God before, in his original personality? Or when they rebuilt his personality, did they build it into him that he has a belief in God? Or did his new personality come to believe in God? A couple of those options aren't great. I would hope they wouldn't build a personality with that belief in there, because that's making him believe things that he might not necessarily have believed. That's forced upon him as a forced belief. That's cruel in itself. Yeah, this whole new personality thing's a real mess. This is the example of what can go wrong. Someone's loose, basically, with no idea what's happened to them, and now he's finding out things. And I would suspect that if he was like a well-known murderer, he's a serial killer, better way of putting it. He had the rose thing, so people are going to probably recognise him. It's not very safe for him to be out there. I still don't quite understand how he's seeing things. Has his personality been completely wiped, or are there remnants still there? Don't know.
And my soul is the soul of a killer.
I can see it from his perspective. That's the case.
Who knows what other crimes I may have committed that they never found out about.
And he can't atone for.
I am a murderer, Theo.
God, that could break you, couldn't it? Break
there
your
must
mind.
Be justice. I know that now.
And what's that going to be?
If you ask God to forgive your sins, he knows what they are, even if you've forgotten.
Yeah, again, according to their beliefs, that's the case.
Goodbye, Theo.
Well, that sounds like you're going to commit suicide, but that's a sin.
It's Brother Edward's bag. Now, he forgot to turn off his compad after talking to Delenn. It recorded voices in the hallway. Voices Edward thought were just in his head.
Oh.
Somebody tapped into the PA system.
So it wasn't in his head.
The wall of his quarters that would look like blood for a few minutes, then disappear.
Someone has recognized him.
A mind wipe like this, you need more. You'd need...
Telepath?
Shouldn't be able to wipe his mind or restore his mind.
Your Brother Edward said a Centauri bumped into him just before he went nuts.
Who touched him? So he's a telepath. What are the odds that they said that blood paint or whatever it was on the wall would only stay there for a few minutes and disappear? So how did they time it and to do it on the wall when he wasn't there, that he'd come back and see it, and that he'd go away, get Garibaldi, and then come back and it would be gone? That's very flimsy. So, okay, so the voices weren't in his head. They were actually in the comm system. Again, lucky there was nobody else around to hear it. Yeah, so someone's been affected by what he did. He's been recognised, and this is a punishment. But it's a punishment against the person, the wrong person, because it's not the person it was. He is now a different, completely different personality, different person. So, messy.
I mean, who would want to do this to Brother Edward deliberately? What are they going to get out of it?
Maybe the one thing they thought they didn't get.
Justice.
Revenge.
Oh, revenge, yeah. Yeah, somebody wants him to die for what he did. He's killed a loved one.
It took us 9 years to find you. You know who we are?
Relatives of the dead? Wow.
You didn't pay for what you did. But that's gonna change.
So they all ganged together and hunted him down. 9 years.
And now that we're here, they don't have the guts to do what is necessary.
He does.
But I do.
Gonna kill him. Well, they might not have the guts, but they're all part of the conspiracy to commit murder.
You helped break down the mind wipe so he'd remember.
Difficult assignment. The wipe was very complete.
Well, not that complete, if you can restore it.
You just need to know human neural pathways well enough to be able to find them.
So that implies that someone could be... That murderer earlier, 7 murders I think he did, he sentenced to death of personality, it happens. What if he sets something up in advance that he's paid off an alien telepath to restore him afterwards, and then he'd go back to doing what he did? It might not be a full restoration, but yeah, that's why it's all messy. It looks like it can be undone, at least to a certain extent. Yeah, it's basically like a jailbreak. You get sentenced to jail for life, but you get broken out of jail a few days after you're in there, then you're out free to kill again. That's why it just doesn't quite make sense. Especially, I mean, I didn't know you could undo it. It was bad enough before, but now it's even worse if you can undo it as well.
You have no jurisdiction over Centauri telepaths, so you can't arrest me. And you can't use another telepath to put...
Lita?
Because your Psi Corps has rules forbidding such activities.
Lita's not in the Psi Corps.
Surprise for you.
Covered him up so you can't see it's her. She's pretty free and easy doing it.
Let it go.
Oh, she heard her voice though.
He'll be fine. He just passed out. They're in Brown 42.
So it looks like she's a bit more fluid in using her abilities. That's worrying. If you're a telepath and you live your life following the rules of the Psi Corps, it becomes part of you. You don't scan people. I think they do, but you know what I mean. In theory, you don't scan people. You follow the rules, stick to it. You work in the guidelines. If all of a sudden you're unleashed and you haven't got those rules, that's dangerous. She could be scanning people, doing things all over the place. Yeah, that's dangerous.
Go. In here! Someone help!
Is he dead?
142, we need a trauma team stat.
I can't quite see what they've done to him. They obviously hung him up. I can't see any wounds. Oh, okay, yes, can now. See, that's the thing, they've attacked him, but he's a different person.
I knew what was going to happen. I am waiting for them to come, so forgive them for doing what had to be done.
This is what he was saying about Gethsemane earlier. He did exactly what it said in the Bible.
No, I know, Theo.
Yeah, you do. That's
You
him.
did this? Yeah. I don't deny it. And murdering son of a...
Captain, come on, back off. Get him down to lockup now. Captain, calm down. Calm down.
That's a big thing to stand up to your captain like that. That takes a bit of guts. So is he going to die?
I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think he is.
Is there enough forgiveness for what I've done?
Always.
Oh God, sounds like he got a broken jaw or something, the way you speak him.
Welcome back. That was a short trip.
Ambassador's errands aren't usually very complicated. Hell, he was proud of what he'd done. They pronounced sentence a few days ago.
I know he wanted you to have it. I'm afraid he never had the chance to finish it.
Doesn't matter, it still means a lot.
Forgiveness is a hard thing, isn't it, Theo?
I don't think anything can ever be more difficult. This is Brother Malcolm. He's just joined the order. I asked for him specifically.
He's the one who killed him.
It is an honor to meet you, Captain.
I believe you were saying that forgiveness is a hard thing, but something ever to strive for.
Yes, I was. Good luck to you.
I don't know if I could be that forgiving. Certainly not being surprised like that. That was a bit unfair. To have that thrust upon you. If you knew about it in advance and had some idea. Oh! She's got like gills. I don't quite know what was happening there. Yeah. Quite a lot happened at the end there. So that guy who killed Brother Edward, I'm assuming it wasn't long, a week or two, from what they were saying, that Lita hadn't gone long. In that time, yes, he admitted it, which would have sped up the whole process, but he was found guilty. He would have been found guilty even if he had to plead guilty. And then the sentence was carried out very quickly. And again, he went to work in the monastery, so that he must have a belief in God. If this is in a short amount of time, he's not going to have had a new personality and found God in all that time. That means it must have been built into him, and that's wrong. Building a belief into someone, that's really, really bad. Don't agree with that at all. Programming someone in that way. It's one thing to give them a personality, it's another to give them beliefs. And then for the brother Theo to request him, I mean, yeah, that shows forgiveness and things. I don't think I could do that. Wow, that's such a big thing, and that's the point. It is such a big thing, and I don't think I could do it. That shows the kind of person that he is. Shows the kind of person I am as well. But like I said, maybe it's just in a short amount of time. And so the captain's reaction, that would be my reaction, I'm quite sure. To have him suddenly appear in front of you and understand what happened. Brother Theo pointed out to him what they'd just been talking about, and the captain had a few seconds to think it through, and yeah, he then went in to shake his hand. But yeah. I don't want to rehash the same things I said in that last episode, because I feel like I would be, and I already have to a certain extent. I don't. I do think of that as a death sentence, the death of personality. I am going to obviously rehash it anyway. Because, well, I was about to say because that person doesn't exist, but it looks like they are still in there somewhere. Who knows if maybe in when you're sleeping in your dreams and stuff, do they come out? Bit like what Talia said, that her personality that was hidden used to come out at night in her dreams and stuff. Maybe the same thing happens here. And then who knows if it can't take back control. I mean, it seems like it's not a completely tried and tested way of dealing with things. So, yeah, this person, this brother Edward, was a completely different personality, and these people took revenge on him, and he's not the same person. He's a different personality. And although the other people didn't take part in the attack, they were still involved in it. It sounds like, well, we only heard that one guy got sentenced for the crime, but the others were all part of it as well. They were all part of the conspiracy to murder, even if they didn't actually commit to the murder itself. So they should have been tried. Not saying necessarily found guilty, but they should have been tried for it. I understand, obviously, if loved ones killed, I do understand that somebody might want revenge. It's never happened to me. I don't think there's anything particularly traumatic in my life that I would want revenge for, necessarily. Not that I can think of. But I can understand somebody wanting it. Yeah, I can understand somebody wanting it, not necessarily following it through to the extent that they did. I don't know about that. But yeah. Tough episode. Again, a lot of moral questions. It made it even more ambiguous than the last episode did. It's very wishy-washy now as a procedure for a crime. Yeah. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below, and I shall see you for the next one. Be seeing you.